Well, as promised, we've got Bruce Coxhead, President and Chief Operating Officer of Zero Waste Energy Systems, which turns biomass waste into thermal and electrical energy. They can basically take anything organic and using anaerobic digestion, turn it into methane, which is essentially natural gas. They got some pretty amazing looking machines, some of them a bit scary, but Bruce, great to have you here.
Thank you for having us today.
Is that an accurate summary of what your company does?
Very accurate. We have two technologies that are key, compaction and deliquification, and then anaerobic digestion for doing exactly what you said.
And where are you based? How many people do you employ?
We're a Canadian-based company with Canadian-based technology, and we're manufacturing in Canada, which is unique. We're in Aurora and Kleinburg, Ontario, and we have about 10 people working full-time with us.
Now, apparently you're vertically integrated. What does that mean? Do you have cows that are producing this?
Well, not quite right. We do everything from the engineering as well as the manufacturing. We do outsource manufacturing to all the suppliers that we use in the Greater Toronto area.
You don't have the stuff made in China? It's just better to make it here?
No, I'm avoiding that. My past life, we've gone there, done that. I don't like doing it. I prefer to keep it in Canada, employ Canadians, and keep the technology here.
There's one of your machines. What does that thing do?
This is a compactor. It is used for deliquification. So if you're a packaged supplier of products, of shampoos or liquid drinks, we can separate the liquids from the packaging material. So it eliminates this material going into a dumpster. It eliminates it going into a landfill. The two waste streams, the liquid and the packaging, can be reprocessed or subsequently recycled.
So these are shampoo bottles that I'm not going to use or something? Or
from the filling lines, you have the starts and stops, the filling lines, the mislabeled products, and whether it is a shampoo or a liquid, we can separate it and allow it to be recycled.
That thing looks terrifying. What does that do?
It does the same thing, only on a bigger size. We can also do source-separated organics. This is the stuff you put in your green box, so rather than trucking it to Michigan, we can separate the liquids from the solids and recycle both.
What does that thing do there?
This is a smaller version of it. It is ideal for packaged products, anything from drink boxes to personal care products. Again, eliminating this from the landfill.
We like to give our guests a bit of a soapbox. You've got a few issues you want to bring up. One, why are we shipping organic waste to Michigan at all? And you're also concerned about why is it so hard for clean tech startups to get grant money?
Well, Toronto has been shipping waste to Michigan, and if you look at your green box, it's going to Michigan. It's not being recycled effectively. We have a green bin.
I thought there was a big place where they recycled it here in Toronto.
To a certain extent, a small portion of it does get recycled, but most of it's being trucked to Michigan and subsequent other communities, even Quebec. We can, with our technology, eliminate that. So why push this material into a landfill when you can recycle it into energy and offload our natural resources?
Is the problem with this material it's got loads of plastic in it, plastic bags and stuff?
It does have plastic bags in some cases, but we can switch over to an organic plastic bag, which is then fine for our equipment.
Right. But why are they shipping it to landfills? Why aren't they processing? Because there's all this food waste and lobster shells.
It is, and all that has BTU value, which we can turn into energy. Why are they shipping it? It's an easy solution. It's an existing solution, and people have blinkers on.
You reckon that clean tech startups are having trouble getting grant money? I thought governments were falling all over themselves.
They are falling all over themselves for the big companies. The small startup companies, unless you fit the perfect bill of what the government is looking for, they tend to ignore you, so you end up doing it the hard way.
It's interesting. You do have, obviously the big guys can afford to hire the fancy consultants.
That is true.
Take the right people out for dinner, to the game.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'd rather put the money back into engineering and developing new products.
What about wind power? Tell us about that.
It's great. Wind power is great. It's clean. It's nice and sexy. There's some issues with the bats, but
with
the bats and the birds.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But if the wind doesn't blow, you don't have a solution. So you generally have to have a natural gas backup. With the organics that we deal with, the biomass, we have it 24 hours, 7 days a week. It will always be there. We need to get rid of it.
What about the third world? Don't they use systems like yours, sort of simple methane gathering systems?
Very much so. Simple systems, but ours is commercially available. We can introduce it in third world, but we can also introduce it in industry. So rather than having these huge monster systems that are available in Europe, we can introduce it into any industry in Canada, the United States, as well as agricultural, small farm communities, small farms.
What about domestic? Would it work on a domestic level? Too complicated, I guess.
We are looking at, for the future, for the domestic level, let's get industry rolling. Let's take care of that problem first, then we'll talk about domestics later.
Can you give us any financials for the company?
For us, we had sales last year. We're expecting sales, and we have sales this year. We should end up with $3 to $4 million in annual
revenue.
Yes. and we should be cash flow positive in about a year and a half.
You are, what about an IPO? Would you ever go public?
We have talked about it, but that's down the road. Again, we want to get our products out there rolling, and then we'll look at an IPO.
You're so tiny, I guess, right now, yeah.
Initially, yes. And you need to develop and get your customer base established. We do have equipment over in Europe and supporting 320 customers there. And we're now taking some of this technology and moving it here and leveraging our accounts here.
So you've been shipping equipment to Europe?
No, we have associations with equipment, the equipment over in Europe, yes.
Right. And I guess just finally, I mean, where is this going to go? Are we going to be able to, we've only got about 30 seconds, alternative energy, is that going to work, or is it only going to be a marginal solution?
It has to work. If we don't make it work, then we have to deal with the garbage in another way, and I think alternative energy is the way to alleviate our burden on natural resources.
Yeah, killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly, exactly.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
Thank you very much.
That's Bruce Coxhead. He's President and COO of Zero Waste Energy Systems.